emotional element of it. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of the songs back in the 70s, 80s, whatever, reflected on love and different things. Some of us are here because of that R&B. Have making babies and stuff. Papa was a Rolling Stone, so
If Barry White and them didn't exist, we probably wouldn't either.
Exactly.
Don't forget about Keith Sweat.
There you go.
Yes.
And so for all the artists and songwriters and everybody listening to this podcast, even if you're not an artist, even if you're just somebody that's listening, you can still get inspiration to life from this podcast right here. And what this man T is saying, he's just spitting jewels right now. But what I wanted to say was, as far as you, what inspires you to keep going through all this innovation and stuff as far as music? Did there any time did you want to give up?
Of course. I mean, I think every producer, singer, songwriter, whatever, goes through those moments where it's just like, I'm sitting here in front of this computer or in front of this guitar or in front of this drum, and I got nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Those dry spells, it's weird. They happen. And what's even weirder about it, it's really not that weird. Because when I was younger, I was able to come up with an idea, like snappy. You know what I'm saying? Like anything would inspire me. But I think mostly because I was constantly around people who were doing music, so those vibes were contributing to the growth of new ideas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And now that, 40, and...
Hey, hold on. You ain't just going to sneak that in there. I'm 45.
Got a job, you know what I'm saying? All them friends that used to vibe with me, they ain't 40, ain't got jobs, ain't got jobs. You know what I'm saying?
And kids, you're right.
Exactly. So, as you get older and mature and things start to happen to you in life, you have to try to split your focus.
Yes.
And God knows, and y'all know, splitting focus is hard.
Oh, it's hard, man. Look, it's hard.
It's difficult, right?
It's only 24 hours in a day, and they go real fast.
Man, just sleeping.
Yeah.
What's that, man? I don't know about sleep.
I'm sitting in the living room, my feet kicked up 5 hours and went by. I'm like, I just sat down. But yeah, got off. But what inspires me to keep going? Simple answer. I think the belief, like the sheer and utter belief that the things that we saw that was really great about music, you know what I'm saying? Like in our age group, is going to come back.
Yes, sir.
And it is and it's slowly starting to make its return back to real lyrics.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Beats by producers who you could tell made it. Now you can't even tell who the hell made the beat. Why? Because it's the same damn beat. I could have sworn, man, look, 5 different songs, the same damn beat. We can do that?
Yes, they'll take the same beat, speed it up or slow it down, and keep it moving. Another hit.
Yeah, it's this trap phenomenon. You know what I'm saying? And I think it was cool, like in the beginning when it was kind of new or whatever. Now, the newer generation that kind of took it and went somewhere with it. I don't know where. I can't even see it with binoculars, but they took it and went somewhere with it, and it's just like there's no challenge to it though.
It's
like I can sit
like,
down and make a trap beat in 10 minutes.
Exactly. It's almost like when you didn't have a cell phone, you had to remember phone numbers, and now you don't have to. So it just takes away from your memory. And so now you don't just create like you used to. You just go take something that somebody else created.
Yeah.
Flip it and trip it and dip it. Use it.
Well, check this out. So I watch a lot of YouTube. I mean, a lot. Love YouTube. Nothing better than it. It's a great learning tool, great entertainment tool, just all around great tool. Yeah. So I'm watching videos of producers do their thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about producers from our era, producers from the era before ours, and like the younger guys now. And I'm seeing some of the things that they do. And I'm just like, how did we get there?
Yeah.
Like, I know music always has to change. That
is true. I remember when my brother started playing keyboards with Miles Davis A lot of the great jazz musicians didn't appreciate them doing smooth jazz. They said it was too drastic of a change.
But even from let's say what, the 80s up until like the early 2000s, maybe around 05, 06, somewhere around there, close around there. Music, it had a meaning, it had feeling, it had some kind of soul to it.
Exactly.
But you could tell it apart. You could tell things apart. Everybody had their signature.
Yeah, you can make a distinction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of these producers nowadays, I've seen it on these YouTube videos. They'll take, if they can't really think of anything, and you can tell when they can. They'll go to these websites like Splice and stuff like that and take whole compositions just to have an idea. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. Sometimes you want other sources to inspire you. It doesn't necessarily have to be something from the genre that you mess with.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem comes when they don't really put the work into making the sample enhance what they think of. They'll just take it and put it in that, you know what I'm saying, put it in the beat
and run with it.
Exactly. Like I've noticed they've taken a lot of things from like the 90s. Like we were talking about Keith Sweat. I never thought it could be done because I ain't never heard. I'll commend them for this. I ain't never heard nobody sample no 90s R&B like that until now.
Yeah, they go back further. Yeah.
Yeah, usually it's around like 74, 75.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of when all the great music. That's when the music renaissance kind of started then.
Because a lot of the 90s started sampling too. That's when the sampling started. So yeah.
Yeah, but it's just like, but think about the difference in the way like the genres from then and before them sounded. Try to compare and contrast them. You'll find more contrast than anything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like, case in point, a lot of 90s music was made by drum machines and things like that. Rare that, you'll get actual guys sitting down and drumming.
Yeah.
Maybe some of them you did, but the majority of the time they're using the drum machines. And we all know that a doctored sound will never sound as good as the actual sound.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that was the 90s way of keeping that soul with everything they sample. And these guys, now they'll do the same thing with like the 90s music, but it's like the 90s music, it didn't have that same, it had soul, but it didn't have that, this is a real drum kit and band, and you know what I'm saying? It didn't have that kind of soul.
Last night I played with a band, and it was 12 people on stage.
Mm-hmm.
3 horns, a lead, bass, guitar, 3 female vocalists, and a male vocalist. And what is the difference is that you get everybody's different spirits. You got 12 spirits up there compared to a machine spirit and 2 people.
That's 100% true, man.
That's a fact right there. That's a fact right there. Like when you get all of those things going on in one space, and like so like take like your the backup singers. If you know those voices and how they fit together, that's a sound like no other.
It is.
It's a sound like no other.
Yes.
And like you said, that's everybody's spirit, everybody's soul coming together and making something beautiful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why you can tell it apart from anything done with a machine.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, if you spend a lot of time messing with the machine, and you got skills like that, you could probably make it come real close.
Yeah, real close. Get to it. Yeah.
But real ears know it.
Yeah, that's the difference from AI, from the real spirit and soul of a person from a machine doing it.
Yeah, they've got some stuff out now though that can damn near emulate a singer from Motown that wasn't even in Motown.
Mm.
Yeah, it's scary.
And it's not even a singer for real. Not even a person. It's just a machine.
So,
I'm like, wow.
You know, I got to ask you this, and it's cool if you don't want to speak about it. But
No, what's up?
I remember a song way back called "Cold Blooded." You know that song?
Yes.
Yes. So, was that the song that you produced? Tell me a little bit about that track. You know, because that's one I remember, man. I was like, it had that old school flavor.
So you talking about Cold Blooded? Yeah. Okay, so
yep.
I co-produced that with my homeboy Smiley. As a matter of fact, it was Smiley's album that we did, like those songs and stuff. But in that song in particular, like we paid a lot of extra attention to that because it was supposed to have this big sound, like with the horns and stuff, kind of like Rick James when his horn section was real big. It kind of opened everything up in the track. Like the beat, the song could have just been just the horns going crazy, and it would have just opened up so much space. So that's kind of how we wanted to do that song. You know what I'm saying? We wanted to kind of pay homage to like pimps and stuff in that era. You know what I'm saying? Against the word cold blooded. You know what I'm saying? You know how they used to talk back then.
Yeah, it just sounded like when I listened to it, it just sounded like a combination of different eras coming together.
And it was.
I was like, wow.
That was the reason. That was one of the reasons why. Because he knew that I knew the rules of this era, but also while knowing the rules of the era before me.
The old school, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
And he knew I had that kind of soul, so it was almost like we would be sitting in this. Well, we'd be sitting in the studio, and you know when they say people, who've been best friends or for a long time, or some people are in a relationship or whatever, they can finish each other's sentences.
Yeah.
That was kind of what it was like when it came to figuring out how we wanted this music to run, how we wanted it to run, and what way we wanted it to run.
Exactly, man.
So yeah, we had fun making that album and definitely making that song.
So T, man, what's new, man? What's the new tracks you got coming, if you got any coming? What is you working on in the future?
So I'm still working with our boy Streets.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Streets, y'all. Shout out to Streets.
Oh, definitely. Shout out to the man Streets, man. That's my boy. That's my guy. You know what I'm saying? That's my boy. When we got up for like the first time, I think we was working with a dude named Show. Shout out to Show too. Show, he was a big deal in music. Man even did a couple movies when he was a kid. So, and he got knowledge of the game like that. He's in Cali right now. I think he's running a talent scouting company, like for people who act in movies and stuff like that. So he's doing his thing. We met at Show Studio. I had no clue that we knew the same people like that.
Yeah.
And so I got up with him, man, and I really liked the way he, did his thing on the mic. Because he had kind of like that free-spirited thinking, almost comic book-like feel. Yeah. Which he did. That was what he had. You know what I'm saying? That was the way he wrote. Mm-hmm. He wrote like a comic book hero or villain, depending on the on the type of song we wanted to do. And I thought that it was intriguing. I ain't never heard nobody really write like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But anyway, that was a little short history lesson. As short as I can make it. So, yeah, we're working on a few things, man. He's trying to get his album done. And, us being 40.
You gotta get that in.
We gotta find the time to get up and do it.
I feel the same way as you, man. Like I said, when you get older, man, it's, we got wives, we got family, we got all kinds of stuff, and we gotta try to find time. And I thank you for your time for this podcast, man. I really do, man. Like I said, we're dropping gems and songwriters. Everybody share this podcast when we do release it. And then look out for my boy T. You know, follow, like, subscribe to everything that he got going on. But I want to get you and set the stage for Lay It Down Live, man, where you give the audience that voice.